Man. A lot of the times people will say a lot of things, give you advice as a young person. This is what you need to do while you're still young. And they'll tell you a lot of these things where you need to associate with the right friends. You need to make sure that you hang out with the right people. You go to the age appropriate places and that you just talk to people that will have a good influence on you, and that advice is good. It's great advice. It's very positive and beautiful advice, and very important for every young person to soma like grasp and understand. But what is more and as equally important is that advice of spending time with yourself. I think this is very important, and we negate it most of the times because we think that we are always by ourselves. When you sleep, you're with yourself. When you wake up, you're with yourself. Atatumtu, but I'm with myself 24 hours. Yes, you're with yourself because you are you. You are in your body. But what I mean by spending time with yourself, I mean actively and just intentionally spending time with yourself, deciding that you will be one with you. And this is not just by sitting at home and watching TV. That is not time with yourself unless it is intentional. You need to be active about spending time with yourself. The same way you would initiate a meetup with friend, or a friend would initiate a meetup with you and you would go out and hang with them. The same enthusiasm, the same intentionality is the same you should apply when you are with yourself. This is the time to literally find yourself. And when we talk about this, abantu baqonda, I've been told this since I was a young kid, but man, I cannot stress this enough. It is very important for you to be by yourself. The person that you will become later on in life is what you're building on now. Chances are the 17-year-old that you are today is the 34-year-old you will be. But now it will have accumulated because dala. So build now, build your character now by yourself without the voices of others telling you who you should be. Be able to define who you are by yourself without others influencing that which you are. Define yourself in accordance to who you are and not what society will tell you, and not what social media will tell you, and not what your friends will tell you. You need to be able to find who you are within yourself and not outside of you. Because if you do that, that means that you now rely on other people in order to be. You can't be independent of other people, and you need to be independent of them because this is your life. You're the driver of your life. You're in the driving seat of your life. So you need to be able to spend time with yourself. You need to be intentional about spending that time with yourself, right? We're at a very critical age now. There's a lot of influence coming out, and it's not always bad influence, it's all sorts of influence. So you need to be able to swift through that influence, right? There's a lot of pressure coming already academically, where you need to achieve academically, where you need to get good grades, where you need to pass with flying colors. So you're already competing at school, whether you are active or actively conscious about it, or it's subconscious. It's happening. There's pressure there. There's pressure at home that you should become this person, do chores, and them raising you a certain way. So there's that pressure. And there's the pressure that you're getting from society, that you need to be a certain way, that teenagers are these, so you need to conform to that which teenagers are. And then there's pressure that you're getting from your friends, that you need to fit in, and you need to be a certain way, and you need to be this and that and that and that. And then there's the pressure that you're getting from yourself, the pressure where you need to do these things, accomplish this, achieve this, and achieve that, which is not always bad, right? The pressures that you get, they're not always bad, but it's important that within those pressures you have a voice of reasoning, a voice that stands still and says, okay, listen, there's this pressure, but who am I in the midst of all the pressures? Because in life you always have pressures, but the pressures are even more now because you're trying to balance things. As a young person, you just stepped out from your childhood, from being a kid, a teenager, at most, and now you're branching into this new department of your life, new phase of your life, adulthood. So you're trying to find a balance, and you're trying to figure out who you are. So in between, it's very important that you spend time with yourself, know what makes you tick, so that when you get to situations that will make you tick, you're able to say, oh, okay, this is what makes me tick. So if this makes me tick, this is how I need to navigate my way around this situation. You need to know the things that bring you joy, so that you can actively pursue those things and seek after them. You need to know the things that take away from your joy and that take a toll on you, so that you can avoid them relentlessly. You don't put yourself in situations that will steal away your joy. You can see a threat coming from a mile away, because that's what happens when you spend time with yourself. You're able to identify the things that add and that take away from your life. And you need that. You need to be able to identify who you are in situations and how you react, so that your life and the peace that you'll have in your life is prolonged, and it's very enjoyed, and it's you, right? So it's very important that you spend time with yourself, figure out the things that make you be you, things that set your heart on fire, things that set your soul on fire. Those things are important, and you should treat them as such. Treat them with the importance that they deserve, so that they can, give back to you, so that they can bear fruit for you. You need that. You're very young. You don't need the stresses that you're constantly putting yourself on. You don't need a lot of people um, just having opinions about your life. You need to start having the opinion about your life, having the most important view about your life, so that you're not easily swayed, so that you're not easily pushed to the side or easily taken advantage of, because you know who you are and you're established in who you are. It's something else to know who you are, and it's another to be established in who you are. It's another to understand that this is who I am, and I'm not waving from this. I'm not compromising, and whatever compromise that needs to be done, it's for my benefit and for those that are around me. I'm not going to do it because so and so says I should do it. I'm going to do it because I see that it is fit and rightful for me to do it. I'm not doing it because social media thinks I need to behave a certain way. No, I am behaving a certain way because it works for me, and it works for those that are around me, that it's good for me, not because it's good for other people. So you really need that. You need to get to a point where you are alone within yourself. I always used to marvel at how my late grandmother would spend so much time with herself. She'd sit outside, not talking to anyone, not reading, not doing anything, just sitting there. I'd ask her, are you not bored? She's like, no, I'm thinking. Like, okay, but can't you think inside while watching TV? She's like, no, I'm within myself. And looking at the way she lived her life, and how peaceful and joyous she was, and how she would not be affected by the situations that life threw at her, and she would still come up stronger. It was because she was so like she had herself, and she knew that regardless of whatever happens, I will have myself, and that even though there's a community around me, and there are people that support me, and the people that care for me, I still have myself to care for me. I still have myself to show up for me. So even if people don't show up, that's okay, because I will show up for me. And even when they do show up for myself, I will still show up for myself, because I am there for myself always. And that's important. That's why spending so much time with yourself is important, because you'll know when you are failing, when your body's the doctors always say that when your body is communicating to you. It will always communicate. You just need to listen. And that's what spending time with yourself does. It just enables you to be able to listen to whatever it is that your energy or your spirit or yourself and your body is communicating. And you need to be aware of that, so that you can lead a good life, a life that works for you, a life that suits you, and a life that is not taking away from your health, be it your mental, emotional, or your physical well being. You need that for yourself. And when that happens, you're not only good to you and for you, but for those that are around you, they're able to enjoy the essence of who you are, because the essence of who you are is solid. And when it's not solid, you'll pick it up and it will be solid because you show up for yourself. That's what matters. Constantly show up for yourself and spend time with yourself. You need that. It's going to help